So it's currently 6:40 a.m. Day of the market. It is raining outside. I've already had to put on the poncho, so that's a great thing to look forward to, but they forecasted more storms than like it's probably going to end up being, hopefully. I got my poncho ready, got the umbrellas ready. Everything's ready to be out in the wet. At least this time I'm mentally prepared. Last time it was like but anywho, I will come back when we are on the road. So I didn't get any footage of the setup, but it is 9:50 right now and we are ready to go. I am clearly very sweaty because of that southern humidity, but we will see how it goes with this show. The rain is not doing anything right now, but it's supposed to be on and off, but we shall see. All right, y'all, it is 11:02. I've made one sale. I had sold one of my small makeup bags that I wasn't exactly sure that I was even going to really bring. But yeah, so that is one sale. We have been live for an hour. And yeah, so here we are going into hour two. Okay, I'm back from the craft fair. And boy, do I have a story to tell. I barely got any footage at all. Today was a day where it was supposed to rain. The rain was going to start after the whole festival was over. Of course, this was an outdoor event and we have a tent, we have a canopy, we had everything set up. I did have in the back of my mind that okay, the weather may not act right. It may not do what it needs to do. Everything's good. Everything's fine. It was raining when we got there, which, it is what it is, but everything was fine. And then the wind. The wind, I'm telling y'all, the wind is just not on our side at all in any capacity. It was crazy because what the wind ended up doing was it got under our tent, it got under the canopy part, and just basically flew it up. So it was the top of the tent was just, and I didn't film any of this, but the top of the tent was just flopped over. We're holding both sides. We had sandbags, but I guess they weren't heavy enough. So we had sandbags. They weren't doing anything. The wind came up under the tent and just basically lifted it. So I've got my husband on one side, me on another side, like everybody's seeing this happen. It was just wild. Long story short, we ended up having to take the canopy part off of the tent and we just left the stems, legs. We just left the legs there, and it was, yeah. The sun wanted to dart out of the clouds. The clouds were dark. We thought it was going to thunderstorm, and we heard thunder. It was just so many emotions and so many different weather patterns going on. I don't know. It was a slow day today. I would say that it was steady, but it was kind of slow. There were a lot of different events that were scheduled to happen on June 14th, and those things were going on today. And it does tend to be that there's always so many different events happening whenever I do an outdoor event, but it is what it is. I did try to do the vlog thing. It just didn't turn out the way I thought that it would. It's really still just a learning experience for me. I still haven't done a lot of shows. Every one that I do is going to be a little bit different. And I already know that. I already know that it's not going to be the same kind of build. It's not going to be the same type of flow. It's not going to be the same type of customer, things like that. Every single one, I believe that the biggest part and the most important part of doing these in-person shows is the networking and the connecting with people. There was a person that came and she said, "Oh, I would love to get book covers for a recipe book that I wrote." And I was like, "Oh yeah, book covers, that's something that I haven't tried before, but I've been wanting to add it to my arsenal of things that I have." And she was like, "Yeah, I love your style. I love what you do. I really would love to find something in your style." We exchanged information. I told her, I was like, "I would love to collab with you." That's an opportunity that I never would have had unless I put myself out there at a craft fair. The connections and the networking is something that I believe is just gold. It's absolutely gold. Even if you had like a crappy day with sales, or even if you didn't make your booth feedback, which luckily I'm very thankful that I did, it's just so valuable to have the option to be able to connect and network with people. Yeah, I'm gonna continue doing craft fairs. I've actually got, I think, 4 or 5 more scheduled already for the year. Yeah, like I'm a little different than a lot of the vendors that are here, but this is what I stand for, and this is what I want to present to people, and just be like, hey, there's something different than just having the neutral tones and having that. There's nothing wrong with beige. There's nothing wrong with having that color palette as a thing, but I stand to be different than that. My entire life has always been molded in a certain way and been to where I have to conform and I have to be in this little bubble. I was a very, very sheltered child. There was a lot of things that I didn't do when I was growing up, and a lot of things that I never did experience. In my adult years, with me being 41 years old, I have discovered my love of color, obviously, and my love of trying to make sure that my imprint on the world is as small as possible. When it comes to crafting, I try to utilize what's already out there, because there's just so much that's already produced. It's already been made. I don't feel like that I need to go out and buy a whole bunch of stuff to express my creativity. And that's something that I'm trying to just put out into the world with all of the materials that I find at thrift stores and secondhand and things like that. What I did sell at my show, and I sold, let's see, I had it all written down. Why did I not just bring my sheet? Because why would I bring the sheet? Of course not. I sold a makeup bag. I sold 1 scrunchie, 2 of my card holders that can double as AirPod cases. I also sold a book sleeve, and I sold a Scrappy Pal, 1 dog bandana. So that was pretty awesome. I'm always happy when I can make my booth feedback. I did that in the first 2 sales, so that was pretty cool. It was a great time. It was a great show. Again, the connections are priceless. I am definitely looking forward to the next month. This is something that's kind of on a cycle. Yeah, so next month we'll see how everything turns out. Maybe the weather will actually act right this time and it won't be so chaotic. Anyway, if you made it this far into the video, I do appreciate you watching. I'll try to make some more of these little vlog type market day things. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.